Okay, so I know Formula 1 and NASCAR are not the first thing that come to mind when you think of esports, but recently 1.3 million people watched fake cars go around a fake track, and a professional F1 driver is blowing up on Twitch. So just what the hell is going on with sim racing? Okay, so F1 and NASCAR are two sports that your weird Uncle Randy probably likes.
Here we go, let's see what happens. The pace car's off on the pit road. Here they come, and he's waving the shit out of that son of a bitch.
So in March, both Formula 1 and NASCAR canceled upcoming races due to health concerns over COVID-19. And pretty quickly, someone realized, hey, people love real cars going fast, they'll probably love this shit too. Now for the NASCAR Pro Invitational Series, which is a series of tournaments featuring current and retired drivers, that meant throwing a race on Fox Sports where over 1 million people watched it live, which apparently makes it the most watched esports program on TV ever. Now for Formula 1, a big part of its recent popularity is due to this guy, Lando Norris. He's a professional F1 driver who races for McLaren, who also streams on Twitch, and he's broken 100,000 concurrent viewers multiple times.
I got rear-ended in the pit lane and now I've got a 5-second grid penalty.
On March 11th, he drove in the Not the Australian Grand Prix and actually broke F1's streaming record as 70,000 people watched him crash into other drivers and eventually get disqualified. And despite being a professional F1 driver who drives at speeds that would probably cause me to shit my pants, you can't help but smile when you notice that he's nervous because he's streaming to so many people.
Oh man, I'm more nervous now than I am when I drive the actual car.
A week later, he drove in the Bahrain Grand Prix, where he actually called other popular racer Max Verstappen for advice, and people were freaking out on stream.
But my chat wanted me to ask you for some tips.
Right, okay.
From starting from last on the grid.
I would turn off the computer and watch the series.
And then, on that same stream, with 100,000 people watching, his game crashed.
How good was that? Oh, screen. I'm sorry, chat. Sorry, chat. It's gonna break my game. It's breaking. Oh, you freaking stupid. Chat. Why? My game is broken.
The competition for both these races was a mix of professional drivers, esports personalities like Sadokist and Redeye, and legit celebrities like One Direction's Liam Payne and golfer Ian Poulter. Now, as you might be able to guess from the level of competition and all the craziness that Norris got himself into, these races were more for entertainment than anything else.
What they're trying to do is entertain people. Like, all we wanted to do on Sunday night, collectively, as a set of drivers and a set of organisers, was take everyone's minds away from what's going on in the world for a couple of hours to relieve some stress and tension and bring some happiness to a few people that miss their motor racing.
Now, in saying that, there are more serious competitions that both Norris and Verstappen will most likely compete in. As funny as it is that sim racing is now fucking everywhere, built-out leagues with serious competition and $500,000 prize pools have existed for years now. NASCAR and F1 have had pro leagues since 2015, Porsche has its own racing competitions, and iRacing, which is a hardcore racing sim that drivers actually practice on, has a bunch of different competitions.
So then look at that, then look at what 2K did with the NBA and putting that into a sports league as well. Isn't it just a natural progression then to see F1 do their thing and NASCAR do their thing? And actually, by the way, plenty of other companies have done it as well. Porsche have their own virtual cups. We had a virtual Le Mans 24-hour in the past. We've got Daytona 24-hour virtual stuff. These things have been going on for a long time. So we've always had this kind of sim racing system in the background, and I think, you know, eventually it kind of came to the fore because of other sports sims having their own esports leagues, which makes total sense. And then the more popular they got, they're also popularized now because of what's been going on.
Now, this isn't 2K or Madden. A lot of F1 pros actually use these simulators to practice for actual races, and a lot of these competitive scenes are used as development programs for talented esports pros to maybe make a transition to actual on-track driving. And it's not like you can set up a fake Dust 2 B site, give Astralis and Liquid real guns and utility, and tell them to have at it. Jokes aside, there's this sim racing competitor Igor Fraga who won a bunch of tournaments back in 2017 as an esports competitor, and then used these simulators as a way to transition into F3 and actual on-track driving. There's this other dude, Enzo Benito, who races for Redline Racing, which is one of the world's most popular sim racing teams. He went one-on-one with an actual F1 driver in real life driving real cars, and he beat his fastest lap.
I don't think it's that much of a leap. And when you understand this, right, this is the crucial part to understand that people won't understand perhaps before they've seen this video. And that is that the high quality sim racing, the guys that play in things like Race Room and iRacing in particular and R Factor 2, those guys, those are so realistic. The simulations are so realistic in the game that to be good in it, you need to understand everything there is about the car. But all of these things are important. And then on top of that, track understanding, how to take different speeds at which gear, which speed. They learn all of these things in the game, right? There's a reason that Lando Norris and Max Verstappen use the games to learn the tracks in real life. So why wouldn't it be feasible that a really talented sim racer could be really good online and really good in sim racing, understand all of these concepts, and then transfer them to the real world? They absolutely can.
Now, for Norris, he's actually growing on Twitch. He's playing Escape from Tarkov, some Rocket League from time to time. It's funny, he's actually becoming a real streamer. So I know the sudden popularity of this might seem strange, but it does make sense on two fronts. One, COVID-19 is keeping everybody indoors and there's nothing to watch. And two, this is one of the only esports that can actually replicate the real life thing. That means 50,000 people tuning in to watch IndyCar iRacing esports on NBC, or Norris once again having his game crash in front of 100,000 people for a second time.
My game's crashed!
Doesn't work.
Oh, so good.
And the NASCAR Pro Invitational race was so popular that Fox Sports and other cable channels are going to be broadcasting more events nationally. And maybe the coolest thing about all of this is that a bunch of people who were F1 and NASCAR fans have now been introduced to esports, and they probably wouldn't have watched esports otherwise. And as easy as it is to poke fun at, this is a pretty cool showcase for an esport that's not CSGO, League of Legends, or Rainbow Six Siege. I think 2 summers ago now, I went with Daryl down to Watkins Glen, which is down in New York State, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And we went to watch a NASCAR race at Watkins Glen. And it was a fucking blast, dude. Like, just drinking Bud Light, getting shit-faced for 2 days straight, getting burnt all to hell sitting in the sun. The racing is honestly, like, kind of boring. It's just like being there in that environment that was so much fun for me.